So, good afternoon. We are Group 4 to present the statistics used in classifications of Malaysia. The first to report is Miss Toledo.
Okay, so gross domestic product or GDP. The gross domestic product or GDP is an indicator that shows a country's economic growth, income, and output. The gross domestic product is the total of all final products and services generated in a given period of time. And according to official World Bank report, Malaysia's gross domestic product was approximately 336.66 billion US dollars in 2020, and Malaysia's GDP accounts for 0.3% of global GDP. And according to Trading Economics Global Micromodels and Analysts, Malaysia's GDP is anticipated to reach $359 or $359 billion by the end of 2021. And according to various economic models, Malaysia's GDP will trend around 380 billion US dollars in 2022 and 440 billion US dollars in 2023 in the long term. And from 1960 to 2020, Malaysia's GDP average is 100 and 57 billion US dollars, with a peak of 364.68 US dollars in 2019 and a low of 1.90 billion US dollars in 1961.
Purchasing purchasing power parity or PPP, purchasing power parity conversion factors of gross domestic products, 1.6 LCU for international dollars in 2020. In 2020, purchasing power parity of Malaysia was 1.6 LCU for international dollars. Purchasing power parity of Malaysia increased from 1.1 LCU for international dollars in 2001 to 1.6 LCU for international dollars in 2020, grow at an average annual rate annual rate of 1.72%. The description is composed by our digital data assistants purchasing power parity conversion factors in the number of units of a country currency required to buy the same amounts of goods and services in the domestic market as a US dollars would buy the United States, that the conversion factors is for GDP. Ano, date value change in 2020, 1.6 value uh, change at negative 1.96%. In 2019, 1.6 change negative 1.68%. 2018, 1.6 value negative 1.73%. 2017 is 1.7. 3 the change is 3 3.880%. In 2016, 1.6, and the change is 1.70%. 2015 is 1.6, and change is 4.13%. In 2014, 1.5, The change is 2.26%. 2013, 1.5. Change is 1.28%. 2012 is 1.5, negative 0.85%. 2011, 1.5, 3, the change is 3.26%, and 2010 is 1.46, change is 6.03%, and 2009 is 1.3. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Kenneth, Urgelles, or HDI of Malaysia country. The Human Development Index, or HDI, is a metric compiled by the United Nations and used to quantify a country's average achievement in three basic dimensions of human development: a long and healthy life, knowledge, and a decent standard of living. As we all know, the HDI is a summary measure for assessing long-term progress in three basic dimensions of human development: a long and healthy life, access to knowledge, and a decent standard of living. A long and healthy life is measured by life expectancy. Knowledge level is measured by mean years of schooling among the adult population, which is the average number of years of schooling received in a lifetime by people aged 25 years and older, and access to learning and knowledge by expected years of schooling for children and school entry age, which is the total number of years of schooling which a child of school entry age can expect to receive if prevailing patterns of age specific enrollment rates stay the same throughout the child's life. Standard of living is measured by gross national income, which is or GNI per capita, expressed in constant 2017 international dollars converted using purchasing power parity or PPP conversion rates. Between 1990 and 2020, Malaysia's HDI index score increased from 0.643 to 0.810, an increase of 26%, where areas the index score increase of 0.62% from 0.805 to 0.810 in 2019 as compared to 2019. Malaysia's HDI scores for 2019 is 0.810, which put the country in the very high human development category, positioning it at 62 out of 189 countries and territories. Between 1990 and 2019, Malaysia's HDI value increased from 0.643 to 0.810, an increase of 26%. Between 1990 and 2019, Malaysia's life expectancy at birth increased by 5.3 years, mean years of schooling increased by 3.8 years, and expected years of schooling increased by 3.9 years. Malaysia's GNI per capita increased by about 177.3% between 1990 and 2019. Comparing the HDI among the Asian region, Singapore has the highest value of HDI, followed by Malaysia and Thailand with 0.938 and 0.810, 0.777 respectively. Human development progress as measured by HDI is useful for comparison between two or more countries. For instance, during the period between 1990 and 2019, Malaysia, Singapore, and Thailand experienced different degrees of progress toward increasing their HDIs. Again, my name is Kenneth Urgelles from Group 4. Thank you so much.
Game. Gender Related Development Index. According to Dato Dr. Yuzir Mahidin, Chief Statistician Malaysia, said Malaysia Gender Gap Index scored 0.7 or 71.4% in 2020. Achievement of women has surpassed men in the educational attainment sub-index with a score of 1.59. Health and Survival Index recorded a score of 0.956, followed by economics participation and opportunity scores 0.738. Labor force participation rate for women was still low at 55.3% in 2020 as compared to other Southeast Asia countries such as Singapore and Thailand. Generally, women LFPR for developed nation exceed 60%. Political empowerment recorded the lowest at 10%. That shows women were still lagging behind men in ministerial position and parliament. So ibig sabihin dito sa Malaysia, mas nahigitan ng women sa educational attainment sub-index yung mga lalaki. Pero sa Southeast Asia mas nangunguna pa rin ng mga lalaki sa kaya yun po. Thank you po.
Gender empowerment measurement. The statistic on women empowerment in selected domains Malaysia 2019 stated the Malaysia Gender Gap Index showed the average score of 0.711 or 71.1% in 2018. Malaysian data on women empowerment is specified domains, the Malaysian Gender Gap Index. Malaysia has a poor track record when it comes to gender equality. Undeniably, females have to struggle with gender biases since school age, as they have limited opportunities to gain exposures in science stream, resulting in the lack of tertiary female students enrolled in science, technology, engineer, and mathematics. Statistics in 2019 shown that a quarter, 24.7% of total legislators, seniors, officials, and managers were women. The percentage of women as professionals and technical workers were also less than men, 44.3%. In 2019, only 25% of legislative top officials and managers were women. According to statistics, the percentage of women was also lower than men, 44.3%. Women candidates in election these days are also a rarity, which is immensely worrying. In the recently concluded Sabah state elections, when women candidates in elections are also rarely these days. Just 43 out of 447 candidates, 9% are female, 14.4% of elected are women, and only 17.7% of cabinet ministers of women. Gender equality and women role has led to wonderful advance in the need for women empowerment. There has been little definition available on what empowerment for women means. Indeed, a procedural definition for the concept of women empowerment is required to deliver women to a position in which they are defend themselves, take faithful decisions in their life, enhance their capabilities, educate themselves, know their rights and responsibilities towards the society, achieve their ambitions and hope by removing all stereotypical processes and attitudes in society, providing all material, legal, moral, economic, and educational means to enhance their capabilities and improve their status in life. Empowerment means that people are enabled to take more control over their lives.
For Human Poverty Index, according to Economic Affairs Minister Mustafa Mohamed, Malaysia's poverty rate spiked to 8.4% in 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic, and in 2019, the poverty rate stood at 5.6.
Again, we are Group 4. We are from HRDM 3B. Thank you for listening.